Hey Facebook, how's it going everyone? I'm starting a little early here because I got a couple things I want to tidy up for the day. And so today I want to continue from yesterday discussion, the evening discussion where we talked a little bit about relationships and how it ties in together with the rose garden. At the end of that, I kind of wanted to talk now about you were dating with someone and you broke up. When is it time to start uh, to date again? And I can come at it in the psychology side of it and say, go get a plant, and then if the plant survives, then get a animal or pet. If that animal or pet survive, then you're ready to date. But that's not what I do. So let's go on the board and let's discuss a little bit what I do. Because like I said, I'm going to be in a meeting in a hot second, and so I want to shoot this out to you guys. Okay, I'm going to show you the board in a minute, but let me just give you an outline of what we're about to say. When it comes to me and when do I start dating again, I won't stop the past relationship until I feel that I'm not giving up on it. Okay, so when it comes for me leaving one relationship to the other, I won't stop in context until I realize that there's nothing else to do. Now, how that works in my mind, I'll go on the board right now and I'll give you a description and use the analogy of the wall. All right, so let's go on the board. All right, so in context, me leaving from one to another, it can be applied to when you break up or in the context of cheating. Not for me, because I do not cheat. I hate cheating and I do not cheat. So for me, I'm not giving up. I have to feel like I'm not giving up, and then we're going to talk about the wall. So the wall is in context when you have trauma, bad experience, and there's some baggage. And so we know that when relationships, we call it baggage, but let me use the analogy of the wall. When a man and woman comes together, there's a wall. And in this context, this is from yesterday's discussion, the garden or the soil of the garden. And then each woman has a different wall. Now, there's a mountain position, like from one woman to the next woman. Far away, you think, oh, their wall is not so much. But closer you get, it might be even more than the last one. So that's what we're going to be talking about offline. One of the key notes, please keep in mind, for me, I do not take a loneliness and trade it for chaos. And I'll talk more about that in detail. All right, now here's a couple of things I want us to later get into. A, not working on the wall, and then B, freedom of the wall. We'll talk about those two positions, and then we'll talk about finding another. So a man wants to, or man waits or conquers, and a woman, she gets strategic because she's a nurturer. All right. So let's talk about this real fast. Oh, cool. How you guys doing? All right. Chastity, what's up, sis? All right. So the wall. When a man meets a woman, in context, when a man meets a woman, his objective when he decides that he wants to be with her is, can he handle the wall? Now, the wall, again, is the woman's past traumas, bad experiences, baggage, such as kids and things of that nature. So when a man meets the woman, can he handle that wall? Can he support that wall? Can he, handle her? Not just her, but just everything that goes along with it. And the idea of a relationship is when a woman who has the wall, and sometimes man does too, because he's been hurt in past tense, but in context, when a man meets a woman who has all of these issues, let's call it the wall, he's going to determine really quick, hey, I can handle that, I can support it, and we're going to work. If we work on it together, let's make it work. Okay. A guy, and I found this in 18 years of, I found this 18 years of psychiatry, that a guy will be with a woman even when the woman don't think that the guy can handle it, because he thinks he can handle it, and so therefore they're working together. Now, what happens when the woman doesn't work on the wall with him? Then he will automatically go to the next woman, and she has a wall, but therefore he is going to work on that woman with that woman and work on that wall too. And so, contrary to belief, one does not leave one woman and for another woman, because each one has issues. A man will leave one woman for another woman because the woman doesn't really want to work on that wall because of the lack of trust, and because of lack of things, and so on and so forth. Hey, what's going on, Ms. Johnson? Okay, so in context, in the very beginning, we talked about this last video. So the attraction is there. From the attraction, biblically, does she present herself to me? And the reason I say, does she support herself to me? Because after all, it is a woman whose character versus a man's character would determine that relationship. Now, in context, we just talked about the wall, traumas, bad experience, and baggage. If the woman presents herself to a guy, the guy is automatically going to determine, can he handle the traumas, bad experiences, and baggage, financial, and all of those other issues? If the answer is yes, his anticipation from her is her nature. Is she a caring person? Is she willing to care for him? Now, what does this mean? If he comes in and says, let's deal with this trauma, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's see if we can work this out financially. Let's sit down and talk about it. The baggage called kids and other things, family. Let's sit down and talk about it. If he's working on that, if she's not taking care of him in context, taking care of him, it's like a baby, for example. Yeah, it's like a baby. So a baby is crying because it has needs, okay? When it has needs, the mother will go run to the baby and say, hey, here's a bottle, let me change a diaper, and so on. But then sometimes the mother will look at the baby and just pick the baby up and say, oh, play with the baby, right? Well, in context, the man will really want that to happen to him too. When he's working hard, when he's working with you and he's at work and he's doing all these things, would he not want to be asked, hey, how are you doing? How is your day today? Because after all, he's picking up all of these things within your wall. And so he's a conqueror. And because he likes to conquer these things, if you do what your nature is to do and be strategic in context and be the nurturer, then he will help you knock that wall down over a period of time. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Now, what happens if the woman doesn't nurture the man? He then will feel like what he's doing with this woman is non and void or in vain. And it's just a matter of time, unfortunately, that another woman will come along, present herself, and then the attraction will be from one woman to the next woman. All right, so let me go back to the board and let's look at it real fast. All right, so in context, this man is with this woman. Okay. She has traumas, bad experiences, and baggage. And over time, as he and she is working on it, that wall, that trust is being rebuilt. Okay. But let's say she's not working on it with him. She has traumas. She's arguing with him, but she's not willing to work over and give him that trust through the traumas and those bad experiences. There's no trust in that issue. What's going to happen? Eventually, that man is going to find someone else. And then when he finds someone else, he'll work on that with her, and then that will go down. Okay. Here's another scenario. So the first one is when a woman is not working with him, not being a nurturer, not giving him the respect, the trust, and all of those issues. Here's another issue: freedom of the wall. Sometimes a guy will find a woman, and in that position, she's giving him all of the issues that's of the wall. He then comes in, helps her financially, helps her emotionally, helps her in all kinds of ways. And then from that position, she then moves and plays somewhere else. Okay, give you an analogy in context. So when I was weighing at 255 pounds, I was weighing a size 40 pants. Lost all this weight, and then I lost it down to a 36, 34. Well, of course, my attitude changed. But when it comes to, when it comes to a woman, it's like losing weight. When she lost her weight, what does she wants to do? She wants to show off her body. Well, that's fine and dandy, except did you ask your man? Because now he's feeling a little insecure. He's doing all of this work, but now he has to feel insecure because you're showing off something that's awesome. You lost all this weight and that's perfect. But now he feels insecure as he's working on these issues called the wall, and you're not being a nurturer to him. You're not taking care of him. And all of a sudden, you guys are arguing for over nothing. And next thing you know, you're breaking up. Okay. When is it time to break up? When you try everything in context, not after 4 kids. Maybe. So when do you work on to the next, go to the next person, next date the next person? Okay. If you want to go biblical, you have to understand the two individuals. The man is the conqueror. The woman is strategic. Okay. When man was asleep, biblically, go back to Genesis chapter 2 and 3. When man was asleep, woman was created. Woman strategically presents herself to man. Man then will say to her, we're a match. I can handle your baggage. I can handle your bad experience. I can handle your traumas. I can handle you financially and so on. So when you strategically, ladies, present yourself to a man, he then will determine on his part, can I handle you? First is the attraction. Are we compatible? And then second, are we compatible to the point that I can handle you? If that is a yes, then he will automatically want to conquer those issues as long as you now take care of him. Now, I'm not talking about financially take care. I'm talking about cook him a meal, call him up during the day, say, hey, how you doing? And all of these great things that you know, ladies know how to do to your kids, but not necessarily to your man. So when do you do it? When you're ready to give your traumas, your baggage, your bad experiences, when you're ready to give it to a guy. When does a relationship work? When the guy then says, I can handle it. But that's after the fact of attraction, right? Are we attracted to each other? So the question is for me, when do I go from one to the next? When this one, I feel like there's nothing for me to do. They're not willing to work with me, and they're trying to give it to me and not working on it themselves, or other situations and circumstances. Then I will go. But when I go, I'm not looking for another woman. I'm just there working as biblically I'm supposed to do. A man's supposed to work. A man don't work, he don't eat. So I'm working. It's when the woman presents herself to me, then I will say, she attractive? Okay, fine, great. I like that. She likes me, fine. Let's talk about it. And what I'm talking about is the wall. I'm talking about the traumas, the baggage, all of the bad experiences she's been through, and financials and futuristic stuff and all of those things. And then I would determine, can I conquer that? Can I handle that? Are we compatible to that point? And we're going through that part. That's the garden soil position. So when you're ready to give yourself to a guy, now again, when I say give yourself, I'm not talking about sexual or sexuality. Yes, there's an attraction, and yes, you might be horny, and yes, you might want to do it, but before you lay with a person, guy, girl, kind of anything, before you lay with someone, ask each other about each other's issues, the wall stuff, right? And see if he can say, I got this. Can he really get this? If he can, then see if he can get it. And then in the same time, take care of him. Make sure you nurture him. Listen to him and work it out together. Compromise it, okay? That's really what it's all about. Now, as soon as you're not doing what you're doing, nurturing the guy, as soon as he's not doing what he's doing, conquering and working with you through the problems, the traumas, the bad experiences, financials, and so on, then just be mindful that the relationship is just a matter of time before it will break up. So, for all you singles, do not trade your loneliness for chaos. For all you ladies, if you're ready to find and be with someone, look in the mirror, find your compatible or compatibility self. Start searching, start asking, hey, would you like to go out? Hey, would you like to do this? Even if you don't go out, you can still just ask, right? If he sees you and thinks, oh, we're compatible physically, I'm attracted to you, and then you guys in your conversation says, well, this is who I am, this is what happened, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to go, he then will determine, hey, if this is really what you want and this is who you are and this is where you want to go, I got you. If he got you, care for him, trust him, let him see if he's got you. That's the hard part. That part right there is where a lot of ladies mess up, because they don't want to give it to the guy who's the conqueror. That's his job, to conquer those problems. And sometimes the ladies are afraid to give that to him, and not giving that to him, automatically you're not giving him the nurturing nature of you. Okay? So you break up with someone who's not there. You gather yourself together. If you're lonely, don't trade it for chaos. Oh, yes. So that's a good question, Sandra. How do you deal with rejection over and again? Okay, so continuation rejections. Okay. Okay, so let's say, okay, social media is, there's a point in social media where you have to go strategic. Now, what do I mean about strategic? For all you single ladies out there, you got a lot of guys on your Facebook page. Okay, go through their page, look at their pictures, and come up with a profile. Is this kind of guy that I'm looking for? Is this kind of guy who basically I'm looking for? Okay. If it's a yes, then just message them. Don't go too serious too fast. In other words, hey, Dr. Bagley, how you doing? And I'll respond, doing good. How are you? And you get into it. Hey, are you seeing anybody? No, not really. What's going on? Hey, would you like to have coffee? And I would say, no, thank you. I appreciate it. That's a rejection, right? But you took it to the point. You take it. You have to be not afraid to hear the words no. The rejection isn't personal. The rejection is, this person might be seeing somebody else. And they're just not publicly making that note. So don't be afraid of rejections, because rejections at the end of the day is not personal. You put yourself out there. They said, I appreciate it. No, some said it better than others. But at the same time, their no is not personal. It's just simply saying, I have something else. But now, because they have someone else, don't think they're not thinking of you. I promise you, do not think they're not thinking of you if you present yourself to him. But in context, that no is not personal. And then if he says no, then just continue on. Why else do you have like 80% of the opposite sex on your page, right? For you single ladies, I know if I look on your pages, you have a lot of more guys than girls, right? Just talk to them. Have a decent conversation first. Just talk conversation. How's your day? How general stuff. If they find interest on you, okay, that's one thing. If you post something and they put a little heart on you, that's another thing. That's an interest, right? If you fast forward, then go after it, okay? If they say no, don't take it personal. Just keep being nice. Just keep going. No just simply means not right now. Okay. Strategic, ladies, it's to the point where you just take your time, you watch the guys, and you watch them. You just simply watch them, give them a throw out every now and then when the time is right, you make your move. But when you make your move, just present yourself. If they say yes or no, that's different. If you want a reading material, biblically, just read the book of Ruth. Naomi, the mother-in-law, Ruth, the daughter-in-law, Boaz, Naomi told Ruth to go lay herself at the feet of Boaz. Boaz in the morning woke up, saw Ruth, and immediately wanted to marry her. If you read it, it says, Boaz been watching her for a couple of seasons. She did not flirt with rich guys. She did not flirt with poor guys. She did not flirt with any other guy. And in that context, that is when Boaz then looked at Ruth and says, you're an honest, decent woman. This is the type of woman that I want to be with. Okay? Now, off of that lesson, ladies, I promise you, you really need to read that book, especially towards the end. The type of woman that all men are looking for is the type of woman that makes him look good, but also makes him look good. Don't be confused with guys who want you to look sexy because you're making him look good in front of everybody else. We call those trophy wives, girlfriends. Be yourself and then just find you're compatible. Other than that, that's all I can really say. Guys are conquerors. They want to help you in your traumas, your baggage, and so on. Some guys are more experienced to do it than others. Women, we're looking for the nurturing. We're looking for the woman who wants to be with us, who listens to us, takes care of us. You take care of us, we'll conquer the world for you. Okay? When do you start this process? If you're loneliness, do not jump into a relationship and bring chaos. If you're loneliness, go strategic, take your time, introduce yourself. If there's a lot of no's, then there's a lot of no's. But don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. I'd rather have 100 no's and one yes, and that one yes lasts 20 years. I hope that makes sense. All right. I hope that helps. I don't know what else to say off this topic. Yeah, so that's the key. To move on, you have to understand the situation. And then just take a chance, go out there, present yourself, look at your portfolio, look at your pictures, ask yourself, would I date me? And if you would date you, what kind of guy dates you? And then go from there, and vice versa. All right, so this is Dr. Bagley. Thank you for your valuable time. Thank you for everything you allow me to say here. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, let me know offline. Yes, it is easier said than to do. I agree, Sandra. But at the same time, doing nothing, what is the result that you're going to get out of it? If you do something, then, well, let me put it to you this way. And I understand, ladies, but keep in mind that there is an idea of the kind of guy that you want. Okay. And I'm going to say a scenario, and I want you to answer this question truthfully. And don't get all into emotional behind that. If there's a woman who presents herself to me and she's a little overweight, she doesn't work out, and she has a decent job, and so on and so forth. Are we compatible? I'm talking about for me, who does work out, who is an outdoor person, who's very active, who's very doing this. Am I going to look at her at first sight and say, hey, we're compatible? And if I say thank you, but no thank you, she'll take it personal. Well, the question is, should she have asked me in the first place? Right? Just because you're confident in who you are, just because you can confident that you can take care of a man, doesn't mean that all men will be applied to that. Look in the mirror. I mean, look in a full mirror and ask yourself, am I high esteem or low esteem? If you're low esteem, kind of boost yourself up a little bit, but look in the mirror and ask yourself, what kind of guy would be equal when we walk in the street, that we will look like partners together. All right. And if you do that honestly to yourself and then attract those kind of guys that is to yourself, and if you're not happy with those kind of guys, then maybe both of you, as long as he has a nice personality, as long as he's a conqueror and willing to work with you and so on and so forth, then maybe both of you can work it out together to lose weight together and have a good lifestyle together. But if you're not at a certain point in your life, and that person, that guy is, I don't want to fluff it, but I want you guys to really understand the guy who is at a certain point in his life, who considered himself successful, he's looking for a certain type of woman. Now, at the same time, if he's out of shape, then he knows a certain kind of woman is going to be at a certain kind of level. You're just going to have to find that compatibility, and that's where it is. Biblically, woman came out of man. He is looking for himself. If you can find that match from him looking at himself, and that's you, that could work. That's willing to work at it and work out with it. And even if it says no, doesn't mean no. It could, but it may not. Try, make it work. All right? Yeah. Nothing is easy. Getting a new job is not easy. Leaving your old job for a new job is not easy. Leaving your job for becoming an entrepreneur is not easy. If you're looking for security, if you're looking for comfort, if you're looking for all of that, and you're trying to make a change in your life, easy is the last thing you need to be considering. Okay? You're going to have to take some chances. You're going to have to hear no's. You're going to have to hear this, this, and this. You're going to have to rearrange yourself, focus yourself, and continue making the point that you're a good person, that you may not be where you want to be because of A, B, and C. He may look at you then says, I like where you're going. I'm not there at A, B, and C. And you both who are not there at A, B, and C can then work together, compromising together, steadfast as he conquers and you nurture, and you guys work together. If that makes sense. Point is, when do you start? When you're ready to start and when you're ready to not be alone. Don't sacrifice your loneliness for chaos. Don't worry about no's. And if you hear 100 no's, as long as you get one yes, and that one yes, do it the right way, you can last another 20 years. Okay? All right. So that's Dr. Bagley. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I can assist you. Let me know if you want me to help you profile your profile to help you better strategically go out there in the community and look at other natures and things. Let me know, and I'm here for you guys. Just message me and we can talk offline. All right, it's Dr. Bagley. Let me let you go. Hey, Alice. Hey, everybody. Sandra and all of you others out there. All right, sis. I'll get with you later. And that's all I have for this evening. Have a great rest of the evening. And I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.